Hello, Ames traders, and welcome to our weekly recap. So this is the week of July 10th through the 14th in 2023. So first, let's take a look at what were the overall results. Look at this, such a busy week. We got 21R for this week. Insane. Now, you couldn't have taken all those depending on what time zone you're in, your own performance, etc. So the rules, we're just entering on banana signals. We're always taking 5 to 1. When our profit gets to 2 to 1, we move to break even. When the market gets to 3 to 1, we move our stop up to 1R or 1 to 1. When the market gets to 4R, we move our stop to 2R or 2 to 1. All right, and this is not financial advice. These are hypothetical cherry-picked trades. So it is up to you when you want to enter and exit. We are not telling you when to enter and exit. We're just telling you this is giving you a signal. All right, so let's get to it. Another thing before we start, there's a lot of trades this week, so I'm going to go through it pretty fast because I want to try to keep it short. But a new way, it's not totally new way, but something we're doing a little bit different this week. Starting this week and going forward, I am just counting trades that are within the 4 rules and 2 filters of the banana method. There's other guidelines that we have when trading the banana, such as we should be trading in the trend of the higher time frame. So looking at the H1, the higher time frame would be the H4 or the 4-hour chart. And the size of the bar, depending on the size of the bar is too big, we don't want to enter on those. I'm not going to be including any of that. I'm going to be including all the trades that fit the 4 rules and 2 filters, no matter how big the bars are or no matter what the trend is on the H4 or the daily. So just to see what the banana results would give us if you just follow the 4 rules and 2 filters on the hourly. Let's see. So that's basically what we were doing before, but just a little bit different. So going forward from this week onward, that's how it's going to be. You'll see what I mean too as we get into the British, starting off with the British pound USD. So like this one right here, this one was Sunday night. It was right when the session opened. Or here it's Sunday night in the US. And in Europe, it's midnight. Australia, it's in the morning. So Australia could have taken this trade. It'd have been like 6, 7 a.m. when this signal was given. But last week I said, for me, I wouldn't take that. It would be, I'm not going to trade Sunday night or anytime 5 p.m., 6 p.m. I'm not going to be taking trades at that time. But that doesn't matter for this count. We're counting every valid banana signal that fits the 4 rules and 2 filters. So for Australia, this could have been a good signal. So Australia would have been, this time is 5 p.m. here in the central U.S. time. So in Australia, we're there 13 hours ahead. So that would have been 6 a.m. there. Oh, really, this bar closed at 6 p.m. So it would have been, the signal would have appeared at 7 a.m. Monday morning in Australia. So you totally could have taken that thing first thing in the morning in Australia. Would have been a rent. Would have been a loser. But that's okay. That happens. These are some trades you can take in Australia. Then look what happened the next day. Same thing. We got a signal. This first one wouldn't have been triggered. And then this next one, you take it 5R. So if you want to take that, 7 a.m. in Australia, East Asia, it's 5R. That would have been 5% to your account there from the Great British Pound. Well, 4% overall so far. But then we got a couple more rents. These little small, we wouldn't have taken that one because there's a little area there. So, that's why I didn't count it, even though it would have got us a couple R's probably, or at least one, maybe more. I didn't count it because it's kind of an area, and that's one of our filters. We don't trade if there is a support or resistance area in front of our signal. So that's why I didn't count that one, even though it would have gave us some increase, some gains. I didn't count that one. So skip that one, go. This next one will be here, and that would have been, this is a tough one. It just fills you, and then it stops you out almost immediately. It just happens sometimes. So that would have been a rent. Same thing. Now, this one wouldn't have been filled, wouldn't have been triggered, order wouldn't have been filled. This one wouldn't have been triggered. Next one that would have been filled was this one. So this one, another tough one. You get filled, it stops you out, then immediately goes. And we would have still be in. We probably would have got out around 1R actually now for this one. If our stop would not have been hit here. But that happens sometimes. And this is part of the game. You get filled immediately, then you get stopped out immediately after that. So you just have to take the losses with the wins. So then going on to the Euro USD currency pair. Once again, another 7 a.m. trade for Australia, or right when the session opened on Sunday night, which would have been the 9th, July 9th. So that would have been a rent right there. But then later on in the day, or the next day, it would have been the next day for me, actually. This would have been Monday for me. This one went to 3R, so we would have moved our stop up to 1R, got out at 1R there. So we couldn't have taken any of these because we would still be in this first trade when these signals happen. So that's why I'm not counting those. Because we would still be in this trade. And we don't want to risk more than 1% at a time in any one market. Then the next one here, also later in the day, you could have got in this signal or this signal, and it would have went to 5R. Look at that. So they would have been a bit bigger. Still would have hit 5R, no problem. It would have been here or here. Usually, if there's a second signal with a little bit smaller bar, we'll cancel the order weighting and get in that one. That's not part of the 4 rules, 2 filters, but you can use your own discretion on that one, which one you like. You just want to keep the order weighting there, cancel the order weighting, and start a new one here. And either one would have went to 5R in that case. And that we wouldn't include that one because we would still be in the trade from before. And then after this blast up, looks like that was from news. We had another one there. We entered there. That one would have been a rent. Bummer. Tried to go. Didn't really go anywhere. And they came back. But then after it stopped us out, again, this one, I wanted to go ahead and count it as a rent because looking at it, it looks like, these overnights, it looks like it would not have hit our stop there with the price on the chart. But I know from experience, the price on the chart is just the bid price. Our stop gets hit at the ask price. So, and I know the spread can be terrible, can be huge on the overnight sessions. Once the session changes right here, the spread can be huge. So even though the bar on the chart would not have hit our stop, the ask price could have still hit our stop. This is why I just counted it as a rent, as a -1. Because that could happen. I didn't want to count it. Otherwise, it would have went to 5R right after that. That would have been a bummer. Another one that would have filled you, stopped you out, and then went right to 5R. Or not right to 5R, but went to 5R later on that day, later on the next day. So I counted this one as -1R instead of 5R because I don't want anyone to think I'm inflating the numbers here. Because some of these numbers and results are crazy, but I just want you to see that this is really, even when I'm conservative with my counting R's, it's still pretty great results. So then the next day, we had this one. This wouldn't have been triggered. Then this next one that would have been triggered is this one right here. And that would still be running. We would still be in this one. And we would have had it locked in. We would have it locked in at 1R right now over the weekend. So haven't counted that one. That one's not counted in the spreadsheet yet. So we'll be updating that on Monday. Now on to the yen. The yen was a tough market this week. It was not nice. So we got all these signals, this beautiful rundown. Look at that. So much opportunity. Nothing but rents for the banana. For the banana, we got nothing but 3 rents this week on with this huge move down. So our members were talking about this in the Discord that, look at this. Look at the UJ. It's just running down. There was no banana entries that, that gave positive R's this week. And I was just saying that, yeah, I mean, for the 8 years that I've been trading, I've tried a handful of edges. I've tried a handful of strategies, and every single strategy and method that I've used, this happens eventually. You'll get a big run, a big move that you'll just see, oh, look at all that money. I want to get in. Look at all that. All that money's flying around. Surely somebody will hit me if I just jump in. But don't do it. Only enter when you get a valid signal, when your strategy tells you to enter. Because if you don't do that, then you're gambling. We call that a cowboy trade where I'm from. You don't want to be a cowboy in the markets. I'm from Texas. I'm in Texas now. I know some good cowboys. But you don't want to be a cowboy in the markets. That does not end well. That's what we call gambling. So Even though none of these would have worked out, we couldn't have taken advantage of this big move down in the UJ for the banana this week. That's okay, because we still ended up positive for the banana. We still ended up positive with all the other markets, so it's perfectly fine. If we would have entered on this signal, not canceled our order waiting and entered on the next one, so if we entered on this smaller one, then yeah, we would have been stopped out. But if we would have just hit the order waiting on the first signal of the day, the first valid signal of the day, and then we would have hit 5R. So that would have been our entry and exit, our entry and stop, and that would have gone to 5R. So if you would have just entered on this first signal and not canceled the order waiting and entered on the smaller signal, you would have hit 5R. But normally what I do, again, this is part of the discretionary, is that I enter on the smaller signals. So my stop can be a little bit smaller and it's a little bit sooner to 5R. So that would have stopped me out. And then right after that, we wouldn't have taken any of these signals, because now there's a little area there. So there's a little area there, hit once, hit twice, and we got a little support area down there. So we don't want to take a banana signal when there's support or resistance area in the way. So we would have got a rent on that one, and then we would have skipped these, even though they worked out beautifully afterwards. So sometimes it happens. The UJ was a beast this week. It was not nice to us this week. But as you can see from our results, that's okay. We can move on and still be positive. Now the German DAX, going back to starting on the 10th. So I took this trade. First, we moved onto the other side of the 50 EMA. This first one, none of these are valid because they're not on the right side of the 50 EMA. And then this one here, first one, not triggered. Then the second one, boom. Here's my trade. Here's from my chart. Enter right there, 5R. Yes. Solid. All right. And then after that, even the next day, there was another great entry. You would have taken some heat on it. You'd have been like, oh no, this is just farting around. And then over here, you'd be like, oh no, now it's creating a little resistance area. I don't know if it's going to go. And then take a little more heat on it. And then boom. Would have got us out at 2R. Market would have hit 4R, and our stop loss would have been hit at 2R. So 7R from the DAX this week. Very nice. And now going to the US 30 or the Dow, market would have hit 3R and then came back and hit 1R. So there you go. Right on. That would have been, so again, I wouldn't have been able to enter that one. That's Sunday night. That's like what, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 p.m. on a Sunday night? No, I'm not going to enter that. But Australia and East Asia, that's all you guys. You totally take that. And that would have been a 1R. Start the Monday off. Can't take these because they're on the wrong side of the 50. And then now next is this first one on the correct side of the 50. And it would have been 5R. This one in the Dow would have, may have gotten filled at 5R there, or it may have taken a few days for it to all the way to Friday to finally get hit. So if you would have hit 4R for sure, your stop would have been at 2R. You just keep it there while the markets drifted around until on Friday. Finally, definitely would have hit 5R on Friday. So that is the Dow. Now on to the NASDAQ. And so starting off on the 10th, we got this one. That was a rent. You would have got filled and then stopped out immediately on that one. So that's another one of those tough ones. But then we couldn't have taken that one, filtered that one. That one wouldn't have been triggered. We filtered that one. It's on the wrong side of the 50. And then we got this little signal here. We got a little impulse move. Got out of this little area. There's an area up here. But we at least have 2R to that area, so that means we can move our stop to break even before we get to that area. And then 5R right here. 5R at there, at that line there. So then we wouldn't have got in this one. Again, there's a tiny little area. It's like one hit, then a second hit. So there's a little resistance area there. That's why I didn't count those. Because it was the same kind of thing with the support areas on the yen. If I'm going to count support and resistance areas with two little hits, I got to be consistent with it. So same thing here. Even though this one would have won, even though this one would have gotten to 5R, I didn't count it because of the support area there. Same here. We want to wait until it breaks the area. This one, I mean, it poked past the area, didn't really break it. So that's why I didn't count that one either, even though would have been another 5R. This one would have hit the stop. This one would have hit the stop on the order waiting and wouldn't have been filled. Now, if you wanted to re-enter when it came back up, that's up to you. But this is just the banana signals as they appear. So again, that's another one many of our experienced traders would have taken. But I just didn't count it because if you just set that banana and forget about it, would have been stopped out before the order was filled. So next signal that would have went would be this one right here. This nice little pin bar. Got a signal, enter, and that one would have gotten out at 2R. Market hit 4R, and we would have gotten stopped out at 2R. So another 7R from, oh, well, there's a minus one here, so 6R from the NASDAQ. So that's how we got to these crazy results we did right here, which is, look at that, 20, 25, minus 4, 21R for the week. Insane. That's crazy. Imagine your account jumping by 21% in 1 week. And on a $100,000 account, living pretty good. And thank you guys for sticking with me to the end. It's a bit longer video this week. Sorry about that. One other thing I wanted to mention before I wrap it up is this thing I've started doing the past 2 weeks. Look at this. I'm counting just the banana signals that were in my time zone that I trade and the time that I trade. So I trade from 7 to 11 a.m. U.S. Central Time. So for me, the first week of July, two trades for me, one winner, one break even, win 5R. This week, there were 21R available, but I would have only got 16. You know, no matter where you are in the world, no matter what your time zone is, I suggest you go back, become a free member so you can see this spreadsheet. So that way, when you get access to the spreadsheet, you can click on each one of these trades, and then you can click and open up the screenshot and see the trade that we counted, see what time it is and everything. I suggest anyone that's trading the banana indicator do this for themselves. They go back test and see, look at the hours that they have available to trade, they normally trade each day, and see how many signals of the banana there are for you. So, I mean, because no one can trade all of these, or it'd be very unlikely. It'll be unlikely. So, for me, it's 7 to 11 a.m. U.S. Central Time. So, I can feel confident that even though I'm only looking a few hours a day at the markets, there's still plenty of opportunity with these banana signals. So click the link below, become a free member of Ames Trading, and click the link below to join our free Discord so you can see the banana indicator in action from our traders every trading day. They're posting their trades and ideas. So email us at info@itradeames.net if you have any questions, and see you guys next week.